Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. I did the opera on you niggas. Now, Hakeem Olajuwon has come out and said that Michael lost in the 90s. He did not go flawless. He lost to the Orlando Magic, and then we beat the Orlando Magic. Michael Jordan, he said, is the greatest player of all time, he feels like, or one of the greatest. And he said for everyone trying to make this narrative that he didn't lose, it's like, okay, but he did. He came back. Y'all act like he was gone for 2 years when they won their 2 championships. And I understand why Hakeem Olajuwon is saying that. Hakeem's not tired of you idiots discrediting his rings. This is the thing. Everyone loves to discredit people's rings and discredit this. Look, LeBrownies, I don't like LeBrownies, but he won 4 rings. Even though that last one was a bubble chip and really to me is bogus, but hey, he won 4. KD, even though he went to the Warriors, he won 2, and he won back-to-back finals MVP. He was the driving force of those 2 teams winning. Now, Steph, he won 1 without KD, which is cool. But in that series, Andre Iguodala saved him because that series, LeBrownies just choked. Kobe's championships, everybody wanted to discredit his first 3. Oh, Shaq did this. Shaq didn't carry nobody. Shaq was a big bum who got away with offensive fouling and just pushing people. Shaq was getting locked down by Brad Miller. Brad Miller was giving him the business, and Brad Miller was good. He was a solid center, and he was undersized, still giving Shaq the business. All the time. Arvydas Sabonis in his later part of his career gave him the business. But that's neither here or there. I'm coming out with Memoirs of an Overrated Player Part 2. And that's going to be fire. Because you guys probably going to know which direction I'm going in. But some of you may not know what direction I'm going in. But Hakeem Olajuwon, is he right? He's right when he talks about, yeah, Orlando did beat him. My Magic beat him, but Michael Jordan wasn't at full strength. He just came back. But personally, Jordan wasn't the problem in why they lost to us. The problem was they had nobody to stop Horace Grant. They had nobody really to stop him from hitting those mid-range shots. Shaq was okay. He was dunking and all that, but Shaq wasn't really effective. Penny and Horace Grant really took those games over. The supporting cast balled out. Dennis hit some threes. Nick Anderson hit some threes. Played some good defense on Mike. But that's what really beat the Bulls was Horace Grant. We had Horace Grant. They didn't. The Bulls would not have won if they didn't go get the 3rd greatest player of all time, and Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman came back. He shut Shaq down, kept Shaq nullified. Horace Grant, I believe, was hurt in that series. He got hurt, so I think he played a little bit and then sat out. I'm not sure, but the Bulls are going to win that season. Rodman was the defensive anchor of their defense. He had everybody playing their position. He was guarding the best guys in the post, and because of him, the Bulls were able to three-peat. The second 3-peat. Everybody's going to take his credit away saying, well, Michael Jordan was allowed to be Michael Jordan. He was allowed to do whatever he wanted now because he could shoot and score, and he can, of course, run the offense if needed be. Dennis Rodman was there to take away all the dirty stuff. Now, let's say the Bulls won. Let's say they beat the Magic and they played Hakeem Olajuwon and them they played Hakeem and them in the finals. Hakeem Olajuwon and them would have destroyed that Bulls team, because that Bulls team didn't have one key element. They did not have one key element. And that key element, what people always forget, they did not have Rodman at that time, or Horace Grant. So all I'm saying is this: you don't discredit the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets was a team who was built through the draft and through trades to get people over there. Now, to me, their first team that won the championship, to me was a lot more tougher than the second team. Now, the second team, what people forget, they really weren't doing that well. So they had to go trade for Clyde Drexler to bring him in. I believe he was traded there, or he was bought out and he went there. I'm not sure. I got to go back and look it up. But Hakeem Olajuwon, made the right point. Is, yeah, the Bulls lost, but it really wasn't because of Michael Jordan. Michael gave out of gas because, he just got back from baseball. He didn't have the basketball legs, but Michael wasn't that bad in that series. He wasn't. For a guy to come back from baseball and to play in that game and still be almost at a high level, that's praise. The thing that people don't always talk about is why Scottie Pippen disappeared in that series. Why did they have to go get a Rodman, but you're Scottie Pippen? You're supposed to be the greatest. You're supposed to be one of the top 50 players of all time. Which is a lie. Dennis Rodman should have been in there over him. Dominique Wilkins should have been in there over him. Him and Shaq, Scottie Pippen and Shaq are not top 50 players. They're more like top 60 or 70 maybe. They're complementary players. Shaq has to have somebody there to take the pressure off of him. If he doesn't, he's in trouble. He can't play with a guy who averages less than 20 points. He can't do it. He can't pick the team up and do it. Because his first year, when he got into the league, they didn't make it. They didn't go nowhere. It wasn't until Penny came the following year that they took off. So, to me, Hakeem Olajuwon has the right gripe and really the right message to basically say, look, our championships count. And they do. The Houston Rockets championships count. Michael Jordan took time off because his father died. All these LeBrownie fans love to come up and say, well, Mike took off. He took time. He quit. He didn't quit. He left. Quitting and left is different. Quitting is if he just doesn't want to compete and he quits. I'm done playing. No. Michael Jordan left because his father just died and the media threw him under the bus saying his gambling was the cause of his father dying. But see, a lot of you guys don't know that because y'all don't go back and revisit it. You guys just want to put LeBrownies on a pedestal. It's like, dog, if you're going to say the Rockets championships don't count, then a lot of these guys' championships don't count then. To me, championships don't make you the greatest player of all time. It doesn't. Michael Jordan won 6, but he's in my top 9, top 10. He's not top 5 to me. And people are going to get mad and want to fight. It's like, okay, I don't really give a damn. Michael Jordan was a great player, but he's not top 5. I felt Hakeem Olajuwon was a better player than Michael Jordan. He was more skilled and he was able to do more things. Michael was just very athletic. Now, later in Michael's career, he made sure to develop his post game more. He made his post game more effective. And Mike had these huge hands. So with these huge hands, he was able to palm the ball, do things with the ball that a lot of people couldn't do. He was deadly from the mid-range. They called him Reggie Miller from the mid-range. because Reggie Miller was deadly from the 3. He was deadly from the mid-range. And Michael took shots where he took high percentage shots to make sure that he can he could get the ball off, and because of his athleticism, he was able to hop. He had an extra lift on his legs when he went back for the fadeaway. That's why his fadeaway looks to some more effective than what Kobe's was. Kobe's fadeaway was just as deadly. It's just Kobe didn't have the lift like Mike. Kobe was taller and longer, so he could arch the ball a certain way, arc it, and then knock the shot down. But Hakeem Olajuwon, it's the truth. It's like everyone wants to say Michael and LeBrownies are the best. They're not the best players ever to play in the game. Michael was not better than Bird, Isaiah, or Magic Johnson. He wasn't. Magic Johnson was a better basketball player than Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was just more athletic. He was a better scorer than all 3 of those guys. He was a way better scorer. But Magic could score too. What people forget, Magic was deadly at scoring as well. Everybody just think, oh, well, yeah, James Worthy and Kareem. Yeah, if you take them off them teams, they don't go nowhere. Because you need a point, you need a floor general. Isaiah Thomas was a floor general. If you take him off the Pistons, they're trash. Larry Bird was a floor general. Even though he didn't run the point, but Larry was the floor general. Dennis Johnson, he could run it as well, but Larry Bird was a monster. Because Larry Bird could facilitate, he could rebound, he could defend. People always love to say Larry couldn't defend. Yes, he could. Go back and watch his tapes. They just watched that tape of Michael Jordan cooking him when he dropped that 63. But what people fail to realize is they lost. They lost those games. So, but Hakeem Olajuwon, I understand his gripe, and he's right. I agree with him. Is that, yeah, Michael did lose. Michael had a chance to play them. It's just that Michael just came back from baseball. But the thing is, my problem is with Scottie Pippen. Why didn't you lift the team up that game? You knew Mike just got back from baseball. You knew Mike's legs was going to give out. Why didn't your punk ass step up to the plate? Everyone likes to say because of you, Michael won all the time and couldn't win unless he had you, which is complete bull crap. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Mike could have won without Scottie. If Scottie wasn't there, they would have found somebody else. The person that helped them mostly, Horace Grant, to me, was more valuable than Scottie Pippen for the first 3 championships. Horace Grant was hitting those mid-range shots. He was getting the rebounds. He was getting the boards. He was attacking. He was defending. He had to go against the Charles Barkleys, the Robinsons, the Kevin Duckworths, the Clifford Robinsons. He had to guard those guys. Pippen was barely guarding them guys. Pippen was good at guarding the point guards because he was so long and he could play the ball. He could play his on-ball defense was decent. Michael really wasn't. He could guard the points, but he really hated guarding the points because he would have to run through screen. Well, he would have to watch pick and rolls and and guys setting the pick, setting up walls for the point guard to get free. Michael hated that. Kobe was a better defender of the point guards and athletic guys because, Kobe had to go against them guys every night. Kobe had to go against the point guards like the Mike Bibbies, the AIs, and all of them. Mike was very effective against the power forwards and the big small forwards, the guys who really, they were okay. They weren't the best of, the best like that, but Mike was a great defender, man. Mike was a great defender. He's the reason that bum Scottie Pippen was on anything. If it wasn't for Michael's defense on Reggie Miller and them and a lot of those games, they would have been in trouble. But Dennis Rodman is the reason that the Bulls won that last three-peat. It's because of him. It's not because Michael was, of course, the driving force, but Dennis Rodman was the value. He was the reason. He was the valuable piece. Because if Dennis Rodman didn't play to his expertise, if they didn't get Dennis Rodman, they would have been in trouble. They would have lost that game. So Hakeem Olajuwon is right. Their championships do count and matter. And Michael Jordan didn't play that first time they won the championship, but he was there to play the second championship. Mike's legs gave out on him, and that's why they lost, really. And plus, they didn't have no interior guy like a Rodman to stop Shaq and those guys from like Rick Smits and them from dominating them inside. So, but they lost, but they came back and they rewrote the ship. They won 3 straight, and that's because they had Dennis Rodman. Hakeem Olajuwon and them got to the playoffs, but I think they lost in the second round. I think they lost to the Sonics or the Suns. They lost to one of them. But I think they lost to the Sonics. I got to go look it up again. Or they may have lost to the Nuggets. I'm not sure. But they lost because Hakeem was getting old. He was done at that point. Clyde, we saw Clyde he was done as well. Because that first season they got Charles Barkley. I think it was in 96. I think that's when they got Charles. Clyde was done. So they had to go. So 97, 98, Charles was playing, and they went to go get Pippen, for that 99 season, and it was just terrible. So they had to get Pippen out of there because Pippen's not that type of player. Pippen can't pick or lift a team up. But let me know in the comment section. Is Hakeem Olajuwon right that his 2 championships are legit and Michael Jordan was there to play and he lost? Is he right about that? That Michael lost. It is what it is. We earned our chips. Thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, share this. Hit the notification bell to select all to receive upcoming notifications. And if you like what you hear, you can donate to the page. Cash at me at the word welcome, the number 2, and then HDIITV. Thank you for listening, and we're out. Deezy.